Welcome to the Fuel Podcast, where we explore the foundations under extraordinary lives.
The Fuel Podcast is sponsored by the Christopher Swartz team at First Choice Mortgage Advisors. NMLS ID 106583. If you're looking to purchase or refinance your mortgage, make the Christopher Swartz team at First Choice Mortgage your first choice.
And now, here is your host, Chris Swartz.
What's going on, everybody? It's Chris Swartz, your host of Fuel, and we're here today with my boy Setema Gali. Setema is a business coach, executive coach. He runs immersion events for business entrepreneurs and leaders, and he also is a Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots. Setema, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm rocking, man. I'm feeling good. Thank you. It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much for having me, Chris. It is a blessing to be with you today.
Oh, man, the blessing is on my side, brother. It's been, we've known each other for a while, and to have the honor to sit down and dig into your fuel today I'm so excited about this, and I just want to thank you for being here.
Thank you. I'm really looking forward to bringing value and just spending time with you.
Awesome, man. So, well, just to kind of give everybody a background, I met Setema at an event probably about 2.5 years ago that I was at, and Setema went up in front of the room, and I don't know what your speech was there. I mean, it wasn't more than maybe 5 or 10 minutes at Ryan's event that we were out at in Dallas. And in that short amount of time, I was blown away. For those of you listening, you can also check out the video on thefuelstory.com. Setema's a powerful dude. I mean, he's standing in front of the room. He's a big guy. D lineman, played pro football. So, you were standing in front of that room, and the story you shared was so powerful. I don't even know if you had left the room before I had looked you up, and I was like, I need more of that. Like, how do we connect? How do we get more of what you just dropped in this room? And from there, I guess the rest is history, right?
Yeah.
So so we ended up connecting. I got involved in one of the programs that you offered at the time, the Huddle, and you really helped me out in my life, and the principles and the philosophies that you live your life by and that you share with others are so powerful that I had to have you on Fuel. I mean, really, it is so in line with what we do here. And just to kind of set the stage, Setema, what we do here at Fuel is basically we explore the foundations under extraordinary lives. And my brother, you are living one extraordinary life, and you have a hell of a story. So we want to unpack that today.
Well, thank you so much. I look forward to sharing it, because when you go through what I've been through, and what a lot of people, right? I'm not the only guy who's gotten knocked in the teeth, kicked down, and then had to go through and pick yourself back up. There's just so many great lessons. And if you're open to learning and to extracting gifts and lessons from every experience, you can use those as lessons and as stepping stones versus letting it bury you. So again, honored to be here and just excited to be with your people and your tribe.
Yeah, absolutely. So, just talking about those lessons. So as I said, we connected up in a little group coaching program that you had that was called the Huddle, and then kind of took that to beyond the next level. I mean, going from the Huddle to MANWEALTH Immersion was, that was the extreme, man.
Yeah, that's a big step. The Huddle is like people.
I was in my living room in my sweats, behind the camera.
Yeah, and when people come to immersion, as you experience it, and I'll share this. We had other people come to immersion because they've known you, and they said, I got on the phone with Chris, and I was like, who is this guy? And they're like, where did you go? And you're like, I just went to this thing called Immersion with Setema. They're like, I got to go to that. Like, holy cow. Like, Chris is different. So you going home and being powerful and living like with that clarity and that commitment, and it's impacted other people because they've come into our world and they've sent people and they're in our programs, and we just the dominoes continue to fall over this what we call the prosperity revolution. So
I love it, man. So happy to be a little part of that domino effect. So for those of us listening, Setema, right now, I mean, you're at the top of your game, right? I know I'm following you. You were speaking on stage a few weeks ago with Damon John, right, in New York.
Damon John, Gary V, just other speakers on those same stages, Tony, Grant, Kevin O'Leary. It's been awesome, man. It really is. And I do feel like I'm on top of my current game. And there's always another level. So as good as life is now, and it's good, there's always other levels to get to make a bigger impact and to create a greater reach to help other people. For sure.
And so that's kind of what I want to talk about. And you have a pretty amazing story that, it was a lot of hard work to get to where you are today. And I know a lot of people will look and say, oh, that's, Setema, he's on stage with Gary V, and he's, doing all these big things, and they don't see the struggle and the hard work that went along with being able to have those opportunities. And I mean, I'm fortunate, I know the hard work that you've put into it because we've gone through the immersion experience together and MANWEALTH, and I've heard it. But I mean, I want to talk a little bit about and share with our listeners, that journey that you went on to be where you are today, and what that kind of a little bit what that looked like.
Yeah, I'll go back to just to football, right? I'm at Brigham Young University, and just to get to college, any collegiate sport, like football, track, basketball, baseball, wrestling, whatever sport, if you can go from high school to the next level, like that's a jump. It requires grit and commitment. And I looked at my body and my heart and desires, and I'm like, look, God gave me a body and athleticism, and so I had to practice and put in the time and work to expand those gifts and talents. From BYU to New England, to go from college to the NFL, whole nother jump, like big jump. Right? In college, you could be big dog in college, but you get to the NFL and everybody is fast. Everybody's amazing, fast, incredible, talented, right? No body fat, just like the best of the best of the best. And I happened to choose a team and end up with the Patriots, who my rookie year, we ended up winning the Super Bowl. So it's amazing. That's my rookie year. And in my second year, I'm having back issues, which I've had back issues for quite some time. So I come home, kind of reorient things, and go back out in 2003 for hopefully a third year. And I just knew I was done. So I'm done with football. The NFL's done. NFL stands for not for long. And it was short, but man, I mean, I got a Super Bowl ring. I worked hard. I was in great shape there with Tom Brady, Bill Belichick. And I learned a lot there, right? We could talk hours on the lessons I got from the Patriots. So I'm home. Sure. And, like any other person who wants to win, Chris, I'm like, okay, what do I do with my life? I'm sitting at home. 6 months after being home, I'm financially broke, like spend the money. And wasn't disciplined, wasn't frugal, was very frivolous. So I got a Super Bowl ring on one hand. I'm a world champion. I've got a college degree from Brigham Young University. I graduated. And now football I've closed the door. That chapter is done. And I'm like, what do I do with my life? I know there's people who listen to this, like they're in a transition phase, right? In fact, I was just at the gym today, and dude's in his late 40s, and he just sold his practice, and he's in the same spot. He's like, dude, I don't know what to do. Like, I've got this money. I got to do something. And there's people that transition. Well, that was me. And a buddy of mine looks at me. He's like, dude, check out this check. He shows me this $30,000 check.
Wow.
And I'm like, dude, was that last year? And he's like, that was last month. That was last week. And I'm like, what?
I want in.
Are you kidding me? What are you doing? He's like, I'm doing mortgages. I'm like, what the heck's a mortgage? I didn't even know what a mortgage was at the time. So I jumped into mortgages and real estate back in 2003, end of 2003. And then 2004, I just got serious. I said, I'm going to take everything I did in football, like the principles, the goal setting, the mindset, I'm going to take all that. I'm going to bring it to mortgages. And I started cranking good, healthy 6 figures. And then we doubled and doubled and doubled. And over 4 years, I mean, we made a ton of money. Like, money was coming out. Like, it was a great day back in the day.
Right. That was the boom.
Money,
that was the heyday. Right?
It was the wild, wild west. It was like, man, we were printing money. So I had a mortgage business. I had a real estate business. I had a hard money lending business. And then we were into real estate and development. So we just had streams of income. And I mean, brand new luxury cars, had, $500,000 worth of cars in my garage, brand new homes all over the country that we would go put money and take them. And 2 things, right? Number one, I'm unhappy, not because of the money, but I'm just unhappy because I'm like, God, I know my life has more, just different purpose than this. Like, that's not my thing. And then number 2, I didn't know that the recession was coming, right? The crash was on its way. And I just thought, I'm good. I can close more deals. And when the crash started to hit, Chris, like we lost big. Like, and I mean, foreclosures, repossessions, you think $500,000 in the bank account is good until it's gone. And then you think your other money's good and all of a sudden we started to lose. And I mean, you talk about being depressed and discouraged and just like, God, what's going on here? Like, what are we doing? So that brings me to that point where I'm like we hit the bottom.
Wow.
And it was hard. Like, I mean, like, it was hard.
Yeah. I mean, you're going from the top, from the pinnacle of, Super Bowl to, starting a career, making money to boom. Yeah. That's a hard hit.
So we're on the bottom. We're getting evicted the week of Thanksgiving in 2008. Like, literally, like, we get kicked out of our home. We pack up, and my buddy has this house up, 30 minutes from there. He's like, I got a house. It's a big luxury home. He's like, it's got 4 months before forecloses. Just move in there and take that one. So we move into that house. We move into another big, 5,000 square foot home. We had no business being in these homes anymore. But I just was like, you're an entrepreneur. You're like, I got this.
Yeah.
I got this. I'm going to keep fighting. And by the time it was done, we ended up in a 900 square foot townhome. My father-in-law, my wife's dad, bought us a used car, and we were on EBT. And there was a point in time where, like, we were late on our cell phone bills. We were late on the electricity. We were late on rent every month. We went from unlimited amount of money to, like, I couldn't even pay the rent.
Wow.
And it started beating me up. I started getting really depressed. Just like God, where are you? Like, what did I do to deserve this? I kind of went into some victim mode. And the tipping point was when my boys were pouring milk into a cereal bowl, right? For those of you who have kids, you get a cereal, small bowl, they fill the bowl up. And when you start pouring milk in and it just overflows. And I come unglued, man. I come on off the handle. What the heck is your wasting milk? And I'm yelling in this little tiny town where everyone can hear me. And that's when I was like, I can't, it's milk. Like, I'm just like, what am I doing? And my wife's like, what are we going to do? Again, right, it was in the 2008, we were broke. 2009, we were broke. And I'm like, there's one thing of value that we have left, and this is a Super Bowl ring. Right? I'm like, no, man, like, I can't sell this. Like, it took so much to get this. So I jump online, I find a collector. I'm driving to the airport with my wife, and I'm bawling. I'm crying. Like, I'm sobbing my eyes out. Like, I can't believe I have this. And I was just too embarrassed. Like, I was embarrassed. I didn't want to tell anyone. So I fly to New York. I'm snotting myself. I'm depressed. I'm embarrassed. I'm humiliated. I'm like the great Setema, right? All of a sudden, it's like, I'm selling this thing that I worked so hard to get, this diamonds and this ring where I'm a champion. I give it to the guy. I'm going to come back and get it. He's like, everyone says that. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, he's a collector. He's got hundreds of rings. NBA, NFL, Major League Hockey. So that was 2009, 2010. I just can't do it anymore. So we file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, right? We wipe it clean. We had millions and millions of just office and home and real estate. And just, it was time to do that. So bankrupt in 2010. By 2011, Chris, I'm like, man, 4 years, right? 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're in 11. And if anyone's ever gone through that, it was so hard. And I even had times where I was like, man, maybe I'm better off not being here. Like maybe I'm better off just like, and I mean, I had all kinds of thoughts because life was beating me down. But here's the thing that I knew. I knew that I was broke, and I knew that one day I wouldn't be, and one day I would be able to help people. Like I needed to take what I was going through and use it as fuel. I needed to embrace it and like step on top of it versus letting it bury me. So I'll make the story simple, right? Today, or that was like 9 years ago. Today I live about 10, 15 minutes from the beach here in Southern California, South Orange County, beautiful gated area. We have basically our dream cars. We live in a dream home-ish style, like our neighborhood, our people, our church we're part of. I'm a speaker, I'm a trainer, I'm a coach, or I work with people all over different industries, right? Wealthy entrepreneurs and business owners. Like you're one of my clients and came through immersion. And today it's like I got to take my kids to school, date my wife every week, go to church on Sundays. I have awesome clients that I love. I have a podcast, I have books, I have programs, I get paid to speak, I get paid to help people. And I can honestly attribute so much of where we're at today to looking at 9 years ago and going through that deep, dark abyss, right? Where it was like I had to decide 10 years ago. So tell me, you either get up and go to work, or you just like have your best days behind you. Yeah, I won a Super Bowl. Yeah, I did good at mortgages. And Chris, I decided back then, I was like, I know there's a way out of this. And so today, like I'm living an amazing life. And you're right, like life is good. It's so good. It's so fun.
Yeah, man. I mean, I follow along. Social media is a great thing, and I see all the stuff. See the stuff you're doing with your kids and your wife. You know how you guys have the date night and just the way you live your life with such integrity and just so powerfully. I mean, really, this is the best way I can describe it. Everything that you put out there, it just resonates with living. We had talked about in immersion, right? The 4 pillars of your life. And, we have, people that we know that may be really wealthy, right? But their marriage or their relationship with their spouse is shit. Their relationship with their kids, they don't have one, it's strained. Or maybe they have a great relationship, great finances, but they're out of shape, overweight. It's really, and then we hit the spirituality. Who are they? What do they want to be? And you really, one of the biggest things for me in immersion was to tie that all together, because when I came out there to Southern California, I mean, you and I had talked about this. It was like I got to fix my business. I gotta make more money. I gotta figure this out. And I don't want to say you broke me. I guess maybe you fixed me. But
like our intention when dudes come to immersion is just to break and beat dudes down. And yeah, that's you saw it, like you saw it, Chris. Like I remember your group like it was yesterday. Like the hill that we do is just out here, like 5 minutes from my home. Like we come to my backyard.
Yeah.
But you saw it, Chris. Yeah. Keep going.
Yeah. Man. And so just to, be able to, I mean, it is really hard to have all 4 areas of your life in sync like that. And that is one of the biggest things that I took away from immersion was, hey, it's great to, have some of these areas at the top, but it's awesome to have all of them, at the top. And, it's definitely not an easy thing to do. And, it's not something that happens naturally every day. It's hard work. I mean, it's in any area, if, like you were at the top of your game in the NFL and, it like you said, not for long, right? It doesn't last. And that's life, life, you always have to be ready, for whatever it's going to throw at you. And that's kind of what we love to talk about here on Fuel. You can use that, just like you shared with us, you can use that as your fuel to go out and now you're changing lives. You changed my life, and things that I do with my kids, with my wife. I mean, just I make decisions and I think, is this who I am? Is this, am I being authentic? Am I living the truth? I mean, all these principles that you shared with me and so many other people came out of probably for you one of the darkest points, in your life. I mean, if you had to pick a point in your life to go back to, I don't know that it would be there, right?
Well, I used to say this, I would never wish this on my enemy. And if I had to go back and go through it again, and there was an option to just like get like a bailout, like, you know what, like you don't have, like you can hit the bottom, you can come out of it faster, or you can go through what you went through. I would 10 out of 10 times, like I would choose the route that we came on. And it was so humbling. In 2011, the way we got out was I was recruited to go knock doors, door to door. We were so broke. We were negative 700 in the account. Like it just kept piling on, insufficient funds. And I was just like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I know I need a way out. And I was 35 and, I call it the voice, right? That thing inside of me just made sense. Like someone's trying to recruit me to go knock doors. And he's like, you can make really good money in 4 months. I'm like, well, how much? And he asked me, he's like, well, how much do you need to make it worth it? And I said, I need to make 6 figures in 4 months. And he's like, done. I was like, what? He's like, you can do 6 figures in 4 months, but here's what you have to do. And he told me, and he's like, it will be the hardest thing you ever do. So it'll be like sports, but he's like, now you're not fighting to play, but be a starter. You're fighting to feed your family. And I took that leap of faith, and I was scared. My wife came over. The guy, my regional who's recruiting me, he sold my wife, and my wife's like, you can do this. And I think she was like, and I don't like living like we were freaking broke. We're broke. Like we were eating ramen noodles and Spam and ramen noodles and hot dogs and, Taco Bell and McDonald's 99 cents. Like it was just brutal. And, Christmas, like we were getting gift cards from our church. We're like, hey, you're like lucky family who needs. I'm like, yeah, we need. So I went and knocked doors, and I became a master of sales, and I was grinding, man. Like people today, we talk about fuel as this foundation. Like one of the great foundational pieces for success is you have to learn how to work and work hard and work smart and work efficiently and work effectively. And I rolled up my sleeves in that summer of 2011, and I knocked 6 days a week. Like I never stopped. I knocked, I walked, I talked, I sold, and I mastered sales. I recruited a team. I did it in 2012. I did it. And, people are like, oh, it's cool. I'm like, no, I'm driving with guys from Utah to Texas, 24-hour straight drive. Woo. We get there like on a Monday morning. We plan it, right? And we get there, like we clean up and we go hit the doors. And there's like 4 of us in a hotel room, and we're knocking in, and like you eat what you kill. So it's not like it was like just easy. Like it was freaking hard work. I was sucking Red Bulls down every day unless I killed my adrenals. But it taught me something, man. Like I learned and I built my confidence and certainty again through work, like sheer work. I was like, God, if this is it, okay. If I'm here at the doors, I'm going to make a run at it, and I'm going to play for keeps, and I want to be the best. So I set out, I had this 5-year plan to go knock doors, and I did 3, and we killed it. Like we had money coming in. I had accounts, I had a team. Like we finally were able to move into a home that was like nice again. We finally were able to get nice cars or brand new cars again. And like, it was so good, and it was so hard. So for the listeners, one of this foundational things for me is like work can just like solve so many problems, and like the right work, I don't mean like go out and dig a hole all day. I mean, like you got to create real value, and you got to have skills. And I'm so grateful. I would go back 100 times out of 100 and be like, yeah, if I knowing what I know now, let me go knock doors, let me go learn and grind, and let me reacclimate to work and grind and recruiting and teaching and selling and becoming a leader.
Nice. Yeah. And that, one of the other things that you say all the time kind of ties into what you just said, and it's just do what's required, right? How many times I still hear that, when you just, you know what I mean? Among other things, get a little 2 clap, but I still hear all that stuff. And it's just like, sometimes we try to overcomplicate these things in our lives, and it's like, oh my God, I'm broken, and the world and all that pressure, just, you feel it, pushing down on you, and we make it so much more complicated, and that really, just do what's required. That stuck with me as well, and sometimes it's just that simple. I mean, do what's required. Stop thinking. Go out there. Get a plan and do it. So, my man, well, Setema, thank you, so much for sharing all of this with us. I mean, I wish we had, man, I could talk to you for hours. We could talk about the Patriots and the Belichicks and immersion and everything.
And Louis, don't forget about Louis, man.
Oh yeah, we got to give a shout out to King Louis, our cat. My wife's. I don't know. I don't know if he's got a little place up there higher than me, but he's up there. So we had some conversations about King Louis when we were at immersion, and yeah, man, good times, and so grateful for our relationship, and to be able to reach out to somebody like you and have you share your knowledge and story with our listeners. So now we're going to hit you with a little as we wrap it up here. We call it rapid fire.
Do it.
So we're going to hit you with 3 questions, and go something like this. And you're stuck on an island, and first question, outside of your friends and family and loved ones, of course, we always want to take them with us, and I don't want to get anybody in trouble. So we're going to assume that you would, of course, take them. But outside of them, one person that you would take with you if you knew that you were stuck on an island.
Outside of my family?
Yeah, so it could be, maybe somebody fun, somebody that, is going to help you with survival skills, maybe just somebody to
outside of my family. That's all I'm that dude who's like, oh,
you're like what?
Okay. So yeah,
and it could be a celebrity. I mean, it could be off the wall. Like it doesn't have to be anyone.
Yeah, you got it, man. You know who I would take with me? I would bring. I think I'll bring Kevin Hart, man.
Kevin Hart, okay.
I bring Kevin Hart, man, because that dude just cried. He's a funny cat, man. And when you're in a situation like that, you got to have some humor. You got to keep it light. I just love his interaction with The Rock too, right? I always get confused with Rock. So today, right here, right now, I'm like Kevin Hart, man. I'll be like, come on, man, let's go.
Let's go. You're stuck on the island.
Come on, dog.
Nice. All right. Second question. One book. What book are you bringing with you? A book that might have an impact for our listeners, has had an impact in your life.
Yeah, you got it. So I'm gonna say this, right? The two books that have changed my life. The Book of Mormon and a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Nice.
Those are the 2 books. I'm going to squeeze them into one and bring those 2.
Okay. And now we know Setema's book, you would already have the Change the Game. You know what I mean? Like that's there. So
you got it, man.
All right. Awesome. And the last one's just a fun one. What's one food that you'd have to have? Your favorite food, cheat food? What are you bringing?
Even though all the food, man, I'm like chicken and rice. Give me chicken and rice. I can eat that every day. Chicken and rice with a little bit of soy sauce. I'm good to go, baby. I'm good.
Nice. Okay. All right. Awesome. All right. Well, Setema, how do we find you? If people want to hook up with you, how can they find Setema, learn more about what you do, the programs that you have?
Go to my site. It's setemagali.com, SETEMAGALI.com. All the social media handles are on there, and that's it, right? I love what I do, like you. Like I enjoy helping people transform, helping people get clear, helping people overcome. So setemagali.com, right? That's my site, and anything I can do for your listeners. If someone's listening to this and they reach out and just say, "Hey, I heard you on the Fuel podcast," ask me a question, and I'll always respond. It might take me 24 hours, but I respond, right? I believe in responding to people right now, like 100%.
Awesome. All right. So for everybody listening, we just want to thank you for tuning in today. You can check out more, see some behind the scenes video at thefuelstory.com. You can check us out on your favorite podcast platform. And if you got something out of this today, make sure you share it. Give us a 5-star rating. And on that note, Setema, let me get a 2 clap.
Got you, baby. Thanks so much for having me. I'm honored, man.
Yeah, man. We're out.